This is the Dollemore Daily, and I'm Jesse Dollemore.
If you find yourself in tax trouble, you seek out an attorney who specializes in that kind of defense. If you get a DUI, you seek out a DUI defense attorney. And if you're Matt Gaetz and you find yourself in the hot water he is currently in, you seek out Jeffrey Epstein's former attorney. And that is just what he's done. I'm going to get to that. I'm going to get to also the problem right now that the GOP finds itself in with feckless, quivering cowards at the helm of every echelon of power, from Donald Trump to Kevin McCarthy, who is a whipped, beaten, abused dog who went yesterday to go see Donald Trump at Bedminster, the same man he said bears responsibility for the insurrection on January 6th. He's going to him to see him, of course, at his golf course. But let's talk about this Matt Gaetz thing, because it is fully expected. I mean, who's shocked by it at all? But it tells a fantastic story of the disarray that the Republican Party finds itself in, and oddly enough, the successful manner with which they are obstructing Democrats right now. It's a remarkable time. Remarkably sad in many ways. Washington Post here, Matt Gaetz' campaign paid $25,000 to lawyer who represents Jeffrey Epstein. The fee for legal consulting was paid to Manhattan criminal defense attorney Mark Furnich. Representative Matt Gaetz' campaign paid $25,000 in June to a Manhattan criminal defense attorney who lists Jeffrey Epstein, the convicted sex offender who killed himself in prison, as a notable client, according to a filing Thursday with the Federal Election Commission. The Florida Republican and acolyte of former President Donald Trump is under investigation for possible sex trafficking of a minor. A spokesman for Gaetz did not address the payment, but, and this is very Trumpian, you ignore the question at hand and you talk about your wins. A spokesman for Gaetz did not address the payment, but touted the congressman's fundraising haul, which totaled more than $1.3 million in the second quarter of the year. There's more to read here, but let's take stock. Let's take inventory of where we are with the Republican Party right now. That they ejected Liz Cheney from power. They jettisoned her from the inner circle for telling the truth about the attempted overthrow of the United States government and subversion of the Constitution they all claim to hold dear. But Marjorie Taylor Greene had to be dealt with by Democrats. Kevin McCarthy's not doing anything to her. Kevin McCarthy is allowing Matt Gaetz to sit on the Judiciary Committee. And why is that? Why are they punishing people who tell the truth and letting others completely go scot-free? Well, you got to look at who these people are. Matt Gaetz is a stalwart Trump loyalist. Never a bad word to say. Marjorie Taylor Greene has said pointedly that this is Trump's Republican Party. So if you have mild criticism or pointed and accurate assessments of Donald Trump's behavior, you're out. The Republican Party banishes you. And it says something about Democrats. It says something about Nancy Pelosi for all of her faults and all of the criticisms that I've had for her. It is a positive thing that she is willing to give Liz Cheney, a Republican, a seat on the committee, on the commission that's going to be looking, the select committee that's going to be looking into the January 6th events. And for me, it's not about bipartisanship. Those days are over. The Republican Party killed them. For me, it is about truth-seeking. It's about putting people in, as my alarm goes off here. When you wake up an hour before your alarm, It is about truth seeking and picking the people who are going to be the most dogged in seeking the truth. And that is what I believe Nancy Pelosi has done. Let's continue with this article about Matt Gaetz hiring Jeffrey Epstein's attorney. The June payment for legal consulting went to the law office of Mark Furnich, whose website says he specializes in, quote, subtle, novel, and creative arguments that other attorneys may miss. Quote, these arguments can make potential winners out of seemingly hopeless cases, spelling the difference between victory and defeat, the site adds. Could we be describing specifically Matt Gaetz's case any more adroitly? These arguments can make potential winners out of seemingly hopeless cases. Yeah, that's what we're looking at. It lists Epstein along with Joaquin Archibaldo Guzman Loera, I butchered that, I'm certain, the Mexican kingpin known as El Chapo, among its notable clients. Furnich did not immediately respond to a request for comment. However, this little guy, this little cutie, Harlan Hill, did respond. He is the spokesman, apparently, for Matt Gaetz. He is a right-wing troll. Our FEC filings speak for themselves, said Gaetz's spokesman, Harlan Hill. Despite an endless stream of lies from the media, Congressman Gaetz continues to be among the most prodigious fundraisers in Congress and is the only Republican who doesn't accept donations from federal lobbyists or PACs. He thanks his tens of thousands of donors and promises to fight for them always. That is immaterial, Harlan Hill. It does not matter. Yeah, great. He's a wonderful fundraiser who also happens to be an alleged, credibly accused child rapist. Great. Yeah, I know he raped a bunch of kids, but he can run real fast. Who cares? And then let's talk about Kevin McCarthy, the man who has allowed Matt Gaetz to continue to be a figure in the party. Matt Gaetz tomorrow is going to be in Riverside, California, just an hour away from where I live. He was going to be here in Orange County, but the venue kicked him out. The venue said, nah, we don't want you or Marjorie Taylor Greene here. We don't want any part of this circus. Hit it, beat it, pound sand. So he had to go to Riverside. This is from Politico. Trump to host House GOP leader McCarthy at New Jersey resort. Trump said there will be much to discuss with the California Republican. House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy will meet with Donald Trump at the former president's Bedminster Resort in New Jersey on Thursday, Trump said in a statement distributed by his leadership PAC. Trump said there will be much to discuss with the California Republican. Among the topics on the duo's agenda, GOP sources said, are upcoming special elections, vulnerable House Democrats in the 2022 midterms, and recent record-breaking party fundraising. But back in Washington, D.C., here we go, because apparently he does have a job in Washington, D.C. It's not just being at the beck and call of Donald Trump. But back in Washington, D.C., McCarthy has yet to decide which Republicans he will appoint to the House's Select Committee on January 6th Capitol riot, announced by Nancy Pelosi last month. The minority leader has yet to signal how he will approach his selections for the committee, leaving open the possibility that he could install firebrand Trump loyalists such as Reps Marjorie Taylor Greene and Matt Gaetz, or a less flashy GOP team with experience to weather a lengthy political battle over the Capitol insurrection. Let's be honest with one another here. Again, let's deal with reality on reality's terms. That is why he's going to Bedminster. He's going to get the blessing from Donald Trump on who he can and cannot, who he's allowed to appoint to this select committee. He needs Donald Trump's blessing. He needs the swipe of the sword, because he can't do anything on his own, because he has no power. Donald Trump is the power. The man who Kevin McCarthy himself said bears responsibility for the insurrection. Anyway, I'd love to know what you think about all of this. You can leave me a brief voicemail, 714-576-4054. Of course, you can email me daily at dollemore.com. Thanks for all of the communication yesterday. There was a lot of both responses to the topics at hand, and then also my dog, Popeye. I've talked about him a few times. He died last week. He was battling cancer, and he went painlessly and peacefully. So we're happy for that. And thanks for all of the love and support that you guys have shown about that. Anyway, I'll see you next time. Until then, be genuine. Take care of one another.